Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about the importance of the shield cast with a mace, with a club, and its application to real-world defensive drills. The shield cast is an exercise that everybody should perform, no matter what their age, no matter what their sport. You should start with a lightweight and you should build up to a heavyweight. The shield cast is one of the most important movements in all of human history. We are at the London 2023 seminar, February, and this seminar is about teaching staff, long and short, mace, and club. One of the things that we are trying to do is to get athletes see that all of these movements are exactly the same thing. People tend to practice one thing, but not all three. We're trying to get everybody to practice all three. Short lever club, heavier weight, makes people end up in the correct elbow position. Long lever, mace, can add more complexity over time. Then that builds to the lightest lever, staff drills, which has the most amount of complexity. But they all share the same core movement pattern. Our Mace 360, stand the mace all the way up. The most important part is that your elbow ends up in the correct position. Top hand goes past opposite ear for a reason. Top hand goes past opposite ear, squeeze the glutes, elbow ends in the correct position. Top hand past opposite ear, and everybody should practice until they can do at least 10 minutes of this non-stop without the weight touching the ground. When we practice it with a heavy club, we call it a shield cast. The movement is generally the same, but the length of the lever changes when you push and pull. The point of practicing with two hands is to build up competency to get to one hand. Top hand, opposite ear. That movement is called a shield cast because you are learning to shield yourself. This movement pops up in almost every culture that I've ever seen, in almost every martial art in some way. James is going to do the most common attack in the world, outside right hand down. And I am going to block. You are going to notice that it is the exact same movement. My hand is going towards my opposite ear. It is pointed straight down. Again. And I am learning to create the correct structure with my body. In this seminar, we work on somebody like this swinging things at your head with the intention of hitting you. Swing. So you can figure out how to step and how to line your body up. You practice it with a mace, you practice it with a club, so your body and your skeleton learn to line up correctly so you can tie it into a drill where you learn to do the block. Now you have your three attacks. He has three attacks, one side of the head, the other side of the head, and straight down. He has no order, and you're gonna see blocks happen, and then that block will keep showing up the longer the drill goes on. Keep going. Walk, don't jump. Pause. You see this movement keep happening. My feet change depending on where he's at and depending on where I'm at. Distance, speed, and timing changes all the time. The point of this seminar is we are learning this as OODA loop, observe, orient, decide, act. He is limited on where he can swing. He's only swinging at my head for now, so it limits the choices that I will have to make. He is moving a little bit each time, so my brain has to calculate how far away he is and what his body looks like when he's going to swing. He is learning to decide what he's going to do without a fixed pattern. He has to decide what pattern he's going to be in. My brain is learning to track his decisions. I am seeing him learn to decide. Again. And you will see the shield cast keep happening. Eventually the shield cast happens where he swings outside, I shield cast, and eventually it's going to go around my head and become an attack. And that core movement is athletically trained with the heavy club. The movement patterns are not exactly the same. The muscle chains are the same. Depending on which leg I step with, changes the way your body fires. When you start with heavy clubs, you start standing and you learn how to move your spine and you learn how to put your elbows in the correct spot. The more you repeat your shield cast with a mace or a club, the more likely this is to work. In the beginning, this looks terrible. People need to experimentally learn from having people swing things at them in an increasingly more powerful manner how to line up. In the beginning, everything will be weird and it won't work. It won't feel good. So learning is a cooperative thing. One person has to learn how to be a good partner, and if they don't do their attacks well, then the person who's learning to defend cannot learn to defend well. The most important thing that people can learn in defense is how not to get hit in the head. That is the most important thing, and then to learn how to respond and learn to hit back. In the seminar, we just do that experimentally. We let people practice thousands of times, and then we repeat the learning cycle over and over again. Practice a block, practice an attack, figure out how to move your feet, because that is way harder than people think it's going to be. And then we practice with mace, and then we practice with club, and everything comes together and people learn to put it together over time.